Hey, Shaul, it's Dylan Neal. And I understand you have a 40th birthday coming up. Happy birthday. You also have a new job at work. So it sounds like it's kind of exciting times for you right now. And I don't know, our mutual buddy Ami reached out to me. I don't know if you know, but I mean, we text all the time back and forth. And he thought that, you might like to hear from me today, being your birthday, and it's just the three of us. Ami and I, we go way back. So, anyways, I wanted to say hello, and I gather that the two of you, as Ami's always told me, you used to love watching Bold and the Beautiful back in the day, back when I had just started on the show, and it was Dylan Shaw and Jessica Forrester, and that time period, and I have a lot of fond memories from that time period. I got Bold and the Beautiful in April of 1994. I remember that because it was a big deal for me. I was born in Canada, and I worked in the Toronto area for the first, 5-7 years of my career, and then I moved down to LA in 92, and I would go back and forth between LA and my hometown just outside of Toronto. I didn't have all of my paperwork in order back then, so I had to kind of go back and forth, and my visa only allowed me to work as an actor in the United States, and I'd run out of money, and so I'd go back to Canada and do some guest stars or do commercials, and then save up enough money to go back to LA. And the TV industry is entirely different now, but back then, if you were working in television, pilot season, which you may know about, is sort of like the most important time of the year, from sort of like February until about April. And all of the new pilots that were cast and shot happened during that time. And maybe 100 pilots would be produced during this frenzy of a period, and you never knew what pilot was going to get picked up and go to series, and either it would flame out right away, or maybe it'll be the next Friends or ER. And so anyways, it was always a very exciting time. And in 94, when I got that, I was still, really new and fresh and young, and very, very excited to be in LA and doing quite well, close on a lot of things. So anyways, when Bold and the Beautiful came up, I could tell they were really interested. There were a couple of rounds of auditions, and I was meeting the producers, and I could just tell, this might go my way. And anyways, had a great experience with that show for the 3 years. Obviously, soaps are crazy, and that stripper storyline was not my absolute favorite. I'm a horrible dancer, and oh my God, it was pretty mortifying. But I did my best. Thank God for editing, to try and put those routines together. But, another great element from that show and that time period is my wife, who was then my girlfriend. We've been together the entire time. We've been together for over 30 years. We became really close with John McCook and his entire family. And John still plays to this day, Eric Forrester, the patriarch of the show. And so John and his wife, Lorette, who was also a former actress and was part of Battlestar Galactica, the TV series, which I watched as a little kid, and then their daughter, Molly, who was part of Last Man Standing with Tim, what's his name, that great sitcom, and great funny actress, and their other kids. We all, we ended up moving across the street from John and Lorette. And they sort of became like our adopted family. They were sort of like our surrogate parents, and sort of like the godparents to our children, Becky's and mine, when we had kids. And so out of that 3-year period, we developed this lifelong really close friendship with the McCooks. And John just celebrated his 80th birthday. And Becky and I, we now live in Europe. We're in Portugal with our kids. And we couldn't be there for the birthday, but we sent a video along with a whole compilation. They did like a big party for John's 80th. And friends and family were there. And you know, friends from probably all over the world. And so we sent in our little happy birthday from Portugal, and they're just such a dear family, and we miss them very much. You know, we'll catch up with people when we go back to LA. But that's really cool that you guys both really enjoyed Bold and the Beautiful. You know, a number of people still remember that time frame, and you know, when I was living in a community sort of on the outskirts of LA, moved there maybe 15 years ago. My son's karate teacher, and I'm just blanking on his name, and I think he might have grown up in Pakistan. He learned to speak English watching Bold and the Beautiful and my character. So when I came in with my son, and I think my daughter too at one point, to take karate lessons from me, he just couldn't believe that it was me coming in. And I mean, it was so amazing to hear that story of him literally learning how to speak English before he'd ever come over to the United States, watching Bold and Beautiful. And I mean, that's remarkable to me. And here he had this terrific business. It was, you know, he had celebrities out the door. He was doing really well. And, you know, that show was, it was crazy. I mean, for the United States, it's just a soap opera, but in other parts of the world, you may or may not know. I don't know where you guys were watching that show, if it was here in the States or elsewhere, but, you know, it was primetime television in a lot of other countries around the world. And Bold and the Beautiful, especially back in the 90s, was huge. And a number of the actors on that cast were really good singers. You know, so John was a good singer, and he'd done Broadway, and he was still doing musical theater when I was there. And some of the other cast, they would go, well, and of course, Ridge, Ron Moss from, was it Loverboy, right? They would go on tours to different cities around the world, and they would do like literally stadiums. The cast of B&B could fill a stadium in certain countries. I remember we were huge in Greece. And I think in one place, they outsold Elton John at a location somewhere in Europe. I mean, it just blows your mind. The show was really, really big. I think it was up there with another one is Baywatch, were like the two top syndicated shows around the world for primetime. You know, just very Americana at a time when, you know, the world couldn't get enough of that type of American style show, I guess. And then funnily enough, I ended up working, doing a number of these TV movies called The Gourmet Detective with an actress named Brooke Burns, who was on Baywatch for a number of years. Anyways, unrelated. I'm rambling now, and I'm sorry, but yeah, it's a kick to go down memory lane with Bold and the Beautiful. Anyways, happy birthday, Shaul. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. You've got a fantastic year ahead of you. I remember turning 40. It's true what they say, that life doesn't begin until 40. And nowadays, what is also true is that 40 is the new 30. 50 is the new 40. I mean, you just kind of like chop off a decade now, because, I mean, you look at what people look like 40 years ago at 40 and to what we look like now. Life is only just getting started for you. It's a great decade, what's coming up for you. So happy birthday. Congratulations at work. I wish you all the best with that. And hey, thanks for watching all that time back then. It was an exciting time for me. I went on to have a lot of fun stories after that with pilots and TV series, but really Bold and the Beautiful kind of got me cemented, and I could stay then in LA and carry on. Anyways, take care, happy birthday, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.